Hey VIP members, welcome to our first of which I am hoping for many daily video VIP tips. My goal is to upload a new video every day, at least Monday through Friday. Now today I wanted to touch on a topic that always comes up when we're talking about medical preparedness, and that's the antibiotics in a collapse situation. One of the most common questions that always comes up is what antibiotics should I stockpile and how do I use them? Now, there's no real quick answer to this, but I'll answer it as quick as I can. First, know that in a survival situation, if you're fortunate enough to have antibiotics on hand, you need to use them sparingly. Don't use them every time someone comes along with any kind of minor illness. In a survival situation, the medic, if that's you, will need to wisely hand out the likely limited supplies of what can only be considered precious life-saving drugs. Overusing antibiotics can foster the spread of resistant bacteria. This has been seen in different animals even today. When antibiotics are given to, say, for turkeys, it causes a resistant strain of Salmonella that hospitalized more than 100 people, and this caused over 36 million birds to be killed. You also need to be aware that there is the potential of allergic reactions. These allergic reactions can lead to a patient going into shock. So look, don't try to be a hero and diagnose someone with an illness. If you get it wrong, you could kill them. Sometimes the antibiotics only mask a symptom which could cause you to lose time when determining what they may have. So the bottom line is to make sure you only use and disperse antibiotics under close supervision. Discourage other members of your survival group from using these drugs without first consulting you or whoever's in charge of the medication. Now, when it comes time to what antibiotics you should be storing, there are several. I will only list a few in this video. The rest will be in the post below, as there's no way I'm attempting to pronounce some of them. So some of the most common are amoxicillin, cephalexin, doxycycline, and ampicillin. See below for the rest of the others. And next to their names, I will also list the fish equivalent of each one. Most of these can be picked up at your local vet's office without needing a prescription. You definitely want to add these to your medical survival arsenal. Now, along with those that I just listed and those listed below, there are various others that you can choose from, but the ones listed will give you the opportunity to treat most illnesses you're going to encounter in any survival situation. Now, the most common of all antibiotics is amoxicillin. If you get the fish equivalent, you want to look for Fish Mox Forte, or Aquamox. And they come in 250 and 500 milligram doses and are typically taken 3 times a day. I know this is a lot of information to take in. That's one reason I decided that along with the video, I'd list each one below as well. Let's talk about dosing someone. How do you know what you should give someone that is sick? First, let me say I am not a doctor. The only advice I'm offering you is what I found through my own research, and I've been given this advice from a medical professional, and I'm just offering it up to you. The first thing you want to do before you prescribe anything to a person is you need to determine whether or not they're allergic to amoxicillin, because chances are that's what you're going to give them. If you give them a small dose of it, you want to look for things like a rash, diarrhea, itchiness, and in some cases even they have trouble breathing. If they are allergic, then you're going to want to try cephalexin or another type of antibiotic, probably one of the ones listed below. When it comes to amoxicillin, the typical dosage is 20 to 50 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. If you're giving the medicine to an infant, you'll want to slightly lessen your dosage, so somewhere in the ballpark of 20 to 30 milligrams per kilogram of body weight for an infant. A common dose for a child would be 250 milligrams, and for an adult would be around 500 milligrams. Give them this 3 times a day, typically for 10 to 14 days. If you happen to be dealing with a child that can't swallow pills, you can make a mixture using water. To make a liquid, simply crush a tablet or empty the capsule into a small glass of water and have them drink it that way. Fill the glass again and have them drink that too, because sometimes some of the particles will be left behind, so drinking it again will make sure they get all the particles in their body. If you are the one giving the medication, so you're assuming the role of medic, you need to keep an eye on your new patient while they're taking the medication. If they develop a rash or any of the previously mentioned symptoms, you want to stop the medication immediately and try something else. Now, you should typically start seeing an improvement in the medicated person within 3 days, but do not be tempted to stop the treatment before the full 10 to 14 days has passed. Now, just real quick before I sign off for the day, I need to reiterate that I am not a medical professional, nor do I play one on TV or here on the internet. So, for that, I just want to say the information and advice I give you should be researched on your own and only used in a survival situation. Now, I have found a great reference when it comes to using amoxicillin, and it's called the Physician's Desk reference, and I'll link it to it in the description below. It will give you all the information you need on just about any medication manufactured today. That's all I've got for you to see tomorrow, when we're going to talk a little bit more about some different antibiotics.